It may come as a surprise, but a frequent intake of the incorrect kind of nuts can raise your risk of cardiovascular disease by as much as 48%, particularly if you're a senior citizen. There is some logic to that figure. It is based on research that was published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology and was conducted over a period of several years. Oh, the terrifying part. Some of the most popular nuts kept in kitchen cabinets can quietly increase blood pressure, cause inflammation, block arteries, and even exacerbate cognitive decline. Yet many seniors eat them thinking they're healthy. A specific nut, the identity of which will be revealed later on, has been associated with high concentrations of a poisonous substance that, when ingested regularly, can harm your liver, kidneys, and cognitive abilities. You probably already have this nut in your snack jar, the same one that low-carb dieters often say is good for you, but it may be causing permanent damage to aging bodies. But have no fear, we've got you covered in this video. Here you will find the most comprehensive guide to nut consumption, including which ones are safest, best for your heart, and most beneficial to your brain, as well as which ones you should avoid at all costs. Also, be sure to read all the way to the end, because there's a dark truth about the number one dangerous nut that very few people discuss, and it could be doing major harm to your health without your knowledge. Get this video liked and subscribed to our channel for more content like this before we start. Also, tell us in the comments where you're watching from. So, without further ado, here are the 4 types of nuts that seniors should be consuming. Fourth, the bone-strengthening powerhouse. Almonds. One of the best foods for an aging body is an almond, thanks to the almond's high calcium and vitamin E content, which together help to keep bones strong. Fractures are more likely to cause serious complications as we age, since our bones are inherently more porous and brittle. Natural bone loss speeds up after age 65, but eating just 1/4 cup of almonds per day will help slow it down by providing approximately 97 milligrams of calcium. Not only are almonds rich in calcium, but they also contain magnesium, a mineral that many elderly people lack. This is what makes almonds so unique. Magnesium functions as a transporter, preventing calcium from damaging your arteries and instead allowing it to reach your bones. Almonds' beneficial monounsaturated fats also aid heart health by lowering levels of bad LDL cholesterol, which is crucial as the risk of cardiovascular disease increases with age. A daily serving of 15 to 20 almonds, ideally uncooked or dry roasted without salt, is my recommendation for seniors. Almonds are a great weapon against constipation because of their high fiber content, approximately 3.5 grams per serving, which impacts roughly 40% of the elderly population. Above all else, studies conducted by researchers at Tufts University have shown that almonds can help prevent the oxidative damage that many worry would happen to their brain cells as they get older. Look for almonds with their skins on, as they have flavonoids in the skin that, when combined with vitamin E, make the almonds twice as powerful an antioxidant. Warning: almonds can be a choking hazard for elderly people who have trouble swallowing, so be sure to chew them well before eating. Thirdly, walnuts, the nut that improves cognitive function. Because of their striking resemblance to the brain, the organ they serve to nourish, walnuts stand out as one of the best brain foods for seniors. These extraordinary nuts are the best source of the plant-based omega-3 fatty acid alpha-linolenic acid compared to any other popular nut. This is very significant for the brains of the elderly, since omega-3s aid in neurotransmission and keep the membranes of brain cells intact. Significant gains in cognitive processing speed and mental flexibility were shown in seniors who ingested just 1.5 ounces of walnuts daily for 8 weeks, according to a new study published in the Journal of Nutrition. Walnuts' distinctive polyphenolic chemicals may impede the development of neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and dementia by penetrating the blood-brain barrier and combating inflammation in neural tissues directly. What many don't know is that walnuts contain melatonin as well, and melatonin levels normally drop with age, which can lead to sleep problems for many seniors. Some people find that eating a handful of walnuts before bed helps them get a better night's rest. Walnuts' combination of arginine, an amino acid that promotes blood vessel function, and polyphenols, which lower oxidative stress, also makes them incredibly beneficial to cardiovascular health. In fact, walnuts can enhance the effects of blood pressure medicine by assisting the elderly in keeping their arteries flexible. For optimal advantages, keep walnuts in the fridge to keep their delicate oils from being rancid, and try to eat 7 or 9 halves of walnuts every day. As an added bonus, you can keep your fine motor skills sharp by cracking them yourself whenever you get the chance. Do not be put off by the naturally protective flavor of walnuts. In fact, the little bitterness is an indication of their potent antioxidants. Secondly, pistachios are a great way to control your blood pressure. When it comes to the health benefits of nuts for seniors, pistachios may be the most underrated nut, especially for regulating blood pressure. Pistachios are unique in that they have a low salt content and a high potassium content, around 285 milligrams per serving, which makes them a healthy snack option. This mineral balance is especially important for the elderly because it helps prevent the kidneys from retaining salt as we get older. It may lower systolic blood pressure by 3 to 5 points, just like some prescription medications, but without the negative side effects. Additionally, pistachios' lutein and zeaxanthin should be highlighted because these carotenoids protect against age-related macular degeneration, the main cause of vision loss in individuals over the age of 60, by concentrating on the macula of the eye. Seniors can enjoy the delightful crunch of pistachios without worrying about the potential damage they could do to their teeth and gums from other, harder nuts. In addition to being aesthetically pleasing, the presence of antioxidants in their distinctive green and purple hues aids in neutralizing free radicals, which hasten the aging process throughout the body. Pistachios are great for elders because of their practicality, preventing overeating and offering a mindful eating experience that can be calming and stimulating for cognitive function. The act of shelling them naturally slows down consumption. The International Journal of Obesity reported that the obvious empty shells help seniors better control their intake by providing a visual indicator of consumption. If you suffer from arthritis in your hands, you can still enjoy the benefits of shelling pistachios by searching for ones that are half opened. Aim for approximately 49 pistachios per day, or roughly 1 ounce, of unsalted or lightly salted pistachios. For the 25% of Americans over the age of 65 who are diabetic or pre-diabetic, the 3 grams of fiber per ounce of pistachios is very helpful in regulating blood sugar levels. First place. Brazil nuts, a remedy for thyroid issues. We ranked Brazil nuts first because they help with thyroid function, an important but sometimes neglected part of aging well. With 96 micrograms, or 137% of your daily requirement, in just 1 nut, these extraordinary nuts are the richest selenium food source known to man. Because many cases of thyroid diseases go untreated because symptoms are often mistaken for natural aging, this is extremely important because thyroid disorders afflict up to 20% of persons over 65. Selenium, which is abundant in Brazil nuts, is crucial for the activation of thyroid hormone, which in turn supports energy production, metabolism, and mood control. In addition to supporting the thyroid, the specific fatty acids found in Brazil, nuts aid in the preservation of myelin, the protective sheath around nerve cells that often declines with age. Seniors may be able to keep their reflexes, reaction times, and cognitive processing speeds up thanks to this myelin maintenance. The selenium in Brazil nuts is interesting because it is organically bonded, making it more accessible and easier for your body to use than in synthetic selenium tablets. Brazil nuts are so powerful that you only need a few to feel their effects, and their rich, creamy texture makes even a little amount pleasant. As a matter of fact, I advise seniors to consume no more than 1 or 2 Brazil nuts every day due to the potential negative effects of an overabundance of selenium. When you shop for Brazil nuts, try to get ones that are still in their shells. This natural packing keeps the nutrients in for a longer period of time. To keep them from going bad due to their high fat content, keep them in the fridge. Brazil nuts have a combination of fiber and natural oils that aid in maintaining intestinal regularity, making them an added advantage for seniors who suffer from constipation. Many elderly people find solace in less nutritious snacks, but these are a great alternative thanks to their naturally sweet and buttery flavor. The most astounding new evidence suggests that some antioxidants found in Brazil nuts may slow the natural shortening of telomeres, the caps on chromosomes that normally shrink with age, and hence influence cellular aging. If you're 65 or older, these nuts are perfect for you. In this new section, we will discuss nuts, which some seniors may wish to avoid or eat with caution. Inflammatory trigger number 4. Peanuts. Despite their widespread use, peanuts are problematic for many elderly people due to the dangers they represent. To start, you should know that peanuts aren't really nuts at all. They're underground-grown legumes. This makes them easy prey for mold and aflatoxins, which are mycotoxins that certain molds naturally produce, and can harm the liver and increase the risk of cancer if consumed frequently. As we become older, our body's detoxification mechanisms inevitably get less effective, which means that this risk grows. Even more worrisome for the elderly is the fact that peanuts include proteins that might cause inflammatory reactions in several individuals, even in the absence of an actual allergy. Aging persons are already at a higher risk for joint discomfort, cardiovascular stress, and cognitive loss. This low-grade inflammation can make all 3 worse. Most Americans already consume an excessive amount of omega-6 fatty acids compared to the anti-inflammatory omega-3s. The high omega-6 concentration of peanuts adds to this problem. Many doctors neglect to warn their elderly patients about the potentially fatal interaction between peanuts and blood thinners, like warfarin, because of the vitamin K in peanuts. The addition of hydrogenated oils, extra sodium, and sugars in commercial peanut butters makes these problems even worse for aging cardiovascular systems. The 63% of American seniors who suffer from hypertension already have enough to worry about. Natural peanut butter, even without additional salt, can increase blood pressure. Peanuts go rancid and produce dangerous free radicals if not stored properly, which is another issue. The common practice of dry roasting peanuts for commercial use also produces acrylamide, a chemical with potential cognitive degrading effects. This is especially worrisome for individuals who are already concerned about memory loss. Even if you've been eating peanuts regularly without any noticeable side effects, switching to one of our suggested nuts, even for 3 days a week, can help you get the nutrients you need while lowering your exposure to these harmful substances. Third, cashews, the sugar increase that's not immediately apparent. Due to their very high carbohydrate content and glycemic impact, cashews pose a special risk to elders. There are less fiber-protective chemicals and a lot more carbs, approximately 9 grams per ounce, in cashews than in real tree nuts. Around 25% of persons over 65 have diabetes, and another 48% have prediabetes. This causes a blood sugar reaction, which can be harmful for them. This is particularly worrisome because cashews have a positive health reputation. So many elderly people eat nuts in excess without thinking about how they could affect their blood sugar levels. The smooth and curved shape of cashews gives them a choking threat that shouldn't be ignored, especially for individuals with swallowing issues. They are also one of the most aspirated nuts among seniors. Nutritionally, cashews aren't great because they have a lot of oxalates, which are chemicals that can bind to calcium in the gut and lower calcium absorption. A major issue for elderly people who are already at risk of osteoporosis. For those who are already at increased risk of developing kidney stones, the danger increases dramatically after the age of 60 due to these same oxalates. There is a further, unseen problem with the cashew processing. Cashews lose much of their nutritional value during the lengthy processing required to extract urushiol, a poisonous chemical also found in poison ivy. Many store-bought variations are oil-roasted and excessively salted, which adds harmful fats and sodium that can make blood pressure and heart strain worse. Cashews contain enzyme inhibitors, which can hinder protein digestion. This is especially problematic for seniors who frequently have trouble digesting food and absorbing protein as it is. Many people don't know this. A potential contributor to weight gain during a life stage when maintaining a healthy weight becomes increasingly tough is the creamy texture of cashews, which makes them easy to overconsume. Substitute walnuts or almonds for cashews on a regular basis for a healthier snack that poses fewer threats to aging bodies while providing superior nutritional characteristics. 2. As a result of their extremely high calorie density, macadamia nuts pose a significant health risk to the elderly, despite their exquisite flavor. They are the most calorically dense nut available, with about 200 calories per ounce. The fact that metabolic rates inevitably fall with age adds further stress to the already difficult task of weight management for the elderly. The gallbladder's already diminished efficiency is exacerbated by their extraordinarily high fat content, about 22 grams per ounce. Macadamias can set off painful episodes that could otherwise go unnoticed by the 15% of seniors with asymptomatic gallstones. In addition to the calories they carry, macadamias are among the nuts with the greatest saturated fat contents, about 3 grams per ounce, which can raise LDL cholesterol levels, something that many elderly people already worry about. Because of their density and hardness, they pose a serious threat to the oral health of seniors who have crowns, bridges, or weak teeth. This is especially problematic for those over the age of 65 when enamel weakens due to wear and diminished calcium absorption. Practically speaking, macadamias are among the most expensive nuts, which could cause seniors who are watching their spending to choose cheaper varieties that are more likely to be rancid or kept incorrectly, exposing them to more dangerous oxidized lipids. The nutritional composition of commercially available macadamias is already bad, and they add more sodium and damaged lipids by being oil-roasted and excessively salted. They have a rich, buttery flavor that might lead to overeating, particularly for older people who may have less refined tastes and like bolder flavors. It's worrisome that many elderly people eat macadamias thinking they're helping their hearts, but research showing the benefits of nuts for heart health has mostly ignored or downplayed the role of high-fat nuts like macadamias. Pistachios have a substantially higher nutritional profile that is especially suited to aging bodies, so if you've been enjoying macadamias regularly, you might want to consider switching to them. The first, nuts from the pine tree. Pine nuts, a known medication disruptor, are among the most troublesome nuts for the elderly for a number of reasons that are particularly acute for this demographic. The fact that they include chemicals that interact with more than 60% of the prescriptions given to seniors is very concerning, since it means that the effectiveness of these drugs could be diminished or that harmful side effects could be introduced. Many prescription drugs are known to interact with each other, but this is especially true with statins, some antidepressants, and blood pressure medications that are given to persons over the age of 65. Most doctors and pharmacists never tell their patients about the risk of food and drug interactions, which is a major red flag. Pine nut sickness is the most worrisome since it causes pine nuts to impart a bitter, metallic flavor that can last for weeks after eating them. Although this may appear insignificant, it can have a disastrous effect on older adults due to the correlation between taste alterations and decreased hunger and nutritional status. According to research, a substantial reduction in body weight occurs in as many as 42% of those who are impacted. It seems that the syndrome is more common in the elderly, which may be attributable to alterations in taste receptors and detoxification pathways that occur with aging. Pine nuts include a lot of polyunsaturated fats, which can quickly oxidize and make inflammatory chemicals. This can be a concern for elderly people who are already dealing with inflammatory diseases like arthritis. Aspiration can occur because to their small size and slick texture. This is particularly worrisome for older persons who have trouble swallowing or who take medications that make their mouth dry, which is a problem for more than 70% of seniors who take numerous prescriptions. While the body's ability to absorb proteins naturally decreases with age, pine nuts enzyme inhibitors can impede protein digestion during this time. Pine nuts are a calorie-dense item that can contribute to weight management issues prevalent after 65 due to their high oil content and combination with pine nuts, even in pesto, which is their most common culinary application. Concerningly, new research is pointing to chemicals in some pine nut kinds as a potential accelerator of age-related macular degeneration, the primary cause of vision loss in the elderly. After the age of 65, you should steer clear of these 4 nuts. A person's health, vitality, and brain function in their twilight years can be profoundly affected by their dietary choices regarding which nuts to eat and which to avoid. Last but not least, keep in mind that continuous application of minor adjustments produces enormous outcomes in the long run. It is time for you to speak up. Is there any evidence that dietary changes, such as the addition or removal of particular nuts, have an effect on your health? Tell me which nut had the most impact on your life. Post your thoughts and stories in the comments section. We value your input.